Hey guys, Cliff Gray here with Flat Tops Wilderness Guides and True Hunts. Today I'm going to go over backpack hunting pads, all right? So I'm going to show you 3 different sleeping pads. Really the metrics to compare the pads on are first, of course, price. Second, bulk in the pack. Third, weight. That's obviously a concern. And then fourth, comfort. Fifth, the ability to keep you warm, okay? So the way sleeping pads keep you warmer, and it's really significant. A lot of people don't realize this at first, but in terms of conduction, right? So the ground that you're sleeping on is going to be cold, and it's going to pull heat from your body, all right? So a sleeping pad will make a big difference. I mean, it kind of depends on, you know, what the relative temperatures we're talking at are, like between the ground and you and the outside tent, all that stuff factors in. But I would say that a good sleeping pad versus sleeping directly on the ground is probably going to add, you know, you can assume like 15 to 20 degrees to the rating on your sleeping bag. So it's pretty darn significant, okay? So that plays in. Okay, so starting here, this is like, I realized taking these pads out, this is like almost like a Therm-a-Rest commercial, because I found out, and I didn't really know this until I looked at all my gear, I only use Therm-a-Rest pads. They also dominate the sleeping pad market, particularly the backpacking sleeping pad market, so that's probably part of the reason. But I've been happy with their products, okay? All right, so on the Cheapo Charlie end of things, this is called the Therm-a-Ridge, and you can get these pads for, I mean, I think the branded one from Thermarest, this pad's gonna cost you like 20 bucks or something, okay? So it's pretty darn cheap. In terms of comfort, just slightly above the ground, to be honest with you. In terms of saving you on heat retention and avoiding conduction, loss of heat, that pad, I mean, it's marginal. Probably adds 5 degrees to your sleeping bag rating, something like that. Where it excels is obviously the cost, but also it's pretty easy to pack and it's really lightweight, all right? So, and the other thing about this is you can find very similar material even outside of backpacking and mountaineering stores. You can find that it's basically just like a closed cell foam, like a thin chunk of it. So you get a little comfort, saves you on a little warmth, and it's lightweight and cheap. I would say these pads, you know, if you just bare bones in it in terms of cost, it's better than the ground for sure. And then like early season hunts, somewhere where you think you can find a relatively comfortable spot to pitch your tent, this works and it's fine, all right? Or if you just want to, you know, bear down and have just a little punishment on your back, it's not bad either, right? I mean, I know guys that sleep very comfortable just directly on the ground. So that is kind of that with just a little edge in terms of keeping you a little warmer and a little more comfort, okay? This is the Therm-a-Rest Trail Lite, and what you're gonna find on these two pads, that they have these self-inflating valves, so you can put them in your tent and open them, and they're gonna partially fill up, okay? Like you can see, that's been sitting here, I've had that open, and it's partially filled up, and then all you gotta do is just add a little air to your comfort rating, okay? So this Trail Lite, it's a comfortable pad. This pad, I think you can get these pads for $75, $80, so they're pretty reasonable. They're lightweight, a little bit heavier than the Trail Ridge, but substantially more comfortable because of the air, okay? And then they're probably double the heat retention than a Therm-a-Ridge pad, okay? The downside of them is they're a little bulkier than this pad's gonna be, okay? And of course they're a little more costly. All right, and so this is a Thermarest NeoAir XTherm, all right? And so it's my favorite pad, but the downside is obviously the cost, okay? These pads are gonna run, you know, if you can find some seasonal deals, you're probably gonna end up still spending $220-ish on them. They're probably double the thermal protection of the Trail Lite and triple, you know, the Thermarest. They're substantially more comfortable than both of these pads, okay? And you'll see that there's a lot more thick, like it's a lot more pouch for the air, okay? And so to me, they're substantially more comfortable. And it's actually lighter than both of these options, and it's more packable. So really the only downside of this, well, there's one other slight downside, but the only other downside really is the cost. It's, you know, triple the cost of these other options, or in this case, it's 10x the cost, okay? So those are the downsides. I love the shape of it. It's broader in the arms. It's plenty long. So it's a very comfortable option. Keeps you warm, and you'll be very happy with it. The one complaint that I've had from guys with this thing is that it's a little bit loud. So if you move a lot at night, particularly if you're sharing a tent with somebody else, it can actually, I've actually heard people say that it wakes them up if somebody else is sleeping in the tent, okay? So those are three backpack options. They're very far ends of the spectrum, right? This is kind of the premium, expensive deal that covers all bases, and then this is your bare bones level. So hopefully you find that helpful. You know, like I said, this is really for backpack hunts. The one recommendation I'll say, guys, if you're going on road-based hunts, you're going into a wall tent that's a pack-in deal on horses, where weight matters, but it's not that big a deal. I mean, this is a counting ounces type of situation when you get into these pads. If you're in those other scenarios, just go get like a foam pad that's, you know, that's 2 inches thick. That is way more comfortable than these options by far, okay? And it's gonna be cheaper. It's not gonna be cheaper than this. It's gonna be substantially cheaper than these options, and it's a way better option for those. Don't go buy one of these if you're going on a hunt where it's not a big deal to have a, you know, 4 or 5 pound pad, okay? If that's the case, go get something that's reasonably priced and is way more comfortable than all these, okay? But if you're counting ounces and you got to pack on your back during a backpack hunt, go with one of these three. I think you'll be happy with all of them, but just understand the pros and cons. So anyways, guys, hope that was helpful. Thanks.